Hello students, so let's start today's class. Today we will discuss vectors, which is very important topic for 11. Actually, vector is the foundation of physics. If you don't know vector, then you cannot understand physics well. So first of all, we will define vector. So those physical quantities, PQ represent physical quantities, those physical quantities which have magnitude as well as direction, as well as they follow vector addition law or they follow vector algebra, are called vector quantities. So from this we must know that if a physical quantity must obey all the three conditions simultaneously to be a vector. Otherwise, it will not be a vector, rather a scalar quantity. We take an example of electric current. Electric current has magnitude, direction, but it does not follow vector algebra. Hence, it is a scalar physical quantity, not a vector quantity. Okay? So, to be a vector, a physical quantity must have magnitude, have direction, and if it must follow vector addition law. Okay, so far so good. Now we will see how to represent a vector. Now vector representation. Okay, so generally a vector is represented by a line and having an arrow at one end. So the length of this line represents magnitude of vector. The length of this line represents magnitude of this vector, and the direction is represented by the arrow, and the direction is represented by the arrow. Okay, this is very simple. So this was first topic, representation of a vector. Magnitude, the length of the line, and arrow represent direction. Okay. Now how do we add two vectors? Angle between two vectors. Say this is vector A. We represent a vector by putting a small arrow above it. Okay. And say this is vector B. Now there are two possible angles between them. One may be this angle and the other may be this angle. So when two vectors are joined tail to tail, this is called head of the vector, this is called tail of the vector. So when two vectors are joined tail to tail, then the smaller angle between them is known as angle between the two vectors. Okay. Now finally, invariant property. What is invariancy or invariant property? I just let you know. So this is a vector A. Okay. It is not confined to this position only. I can take this vector anywhere in the universe, provide its length and direction remains same. So for simplicity, I take this marker as a vector. As long as I maintain its length and direction, I can place it anywhere in the space. No issues. Vectors are invariant. It can be placed anywhere. This is simply the invariant property of vectors. Okay. So now we move further. Now we will discuss vector algebra. What is vector algebra? So vector algebra has a few parts. So first of all, we discuss the zeroth part. This is components of a vectors. A vector can have two or more components. Theoretically, a vector can have as many as infinity components. Okay, we'll discuss it. Second, we will discuss vector addition, how to add two vectors Okay, then vector subtraction. Okay, how to subtract a vector from another vector. Then vector dot product. Okay, so dot product is product between two vectors, but this is also known as scalar product. And fourth, vector cross product. This is also known as vector product. Okay, vector division is not defined. We cannot define a vector by a vector. Okay, now one by one we will study all the components, all the parts of vector algebra, and we will begin with components of a vector only. So now we discuss components of a vector. This is very important. So as I just told you, a vector can have as many as infinity components. So, but we are not interested in that many components. We are interested in 2 or 3 components. So let us say this is vector A, okay, and with x-axis it makes an angle theta. So I am here going to have 2 components of this vector. What I will do, I will drop a perpendicular from the head of the vector on the x-axis. Okay, now this from origin to this will become a subscript x, a vector component along x-axis. And similarly, I drop a perpendicular from the head of vector on the y-axis. Now this is called a subscript y. Okay, this becomes y component of the vector. Now we know this is our hypotenuse, this is our base, this is our perpendicular. Okay, so by basic trigonometry we know base upon hypotenuse is cos theta. Okay, here we know that our base is ax and h is magnitude of a. This is represented as magnitude of a, so it will become h cos theta. Okay, or we can write ax is equal to magnitude of a vector into my cos theta. Okay, so just remember this thing, a vector pointing in x-axis is represented by a unit vector I cap. So if we put a vector symbol above it, then it becomes this. Okay, so this is our x component of vector A. Similarly, with this perpendicular thing, we can get p by h is equal to sine theta. Okay, or p is equal to h sine theta. As we can see, this and this vector are exactly same, so we can replace this with ay. So it becomes ay vector is equal to magnitude of a vector sine theta. Okay, as we represent x-axis with I cap, we represent y-axis by j cap. It is the unit vector along j direction. Okay, so I will put a j cap here too. Okay, this is how we do components of a vector. Okay, this is how we do components of a vector. Now we move on second topic, that is addition of two vectors. Now this is our final topic for today. We'll study vector addition. Okay, so say this is a vector, name it a vector. This is a vector, name it b vector. So as I told you, to find angle between two vectors, we must join them tail to tail. So they were joined head to tail. So I move this vector forward so that this becomes the angle between these two vectors. Okay. Now what is the identification of resultant vector? Resultant vector is the vector whose tail is connected to a tail and whose head is connected to a head. This is our resultant vector. Okay. So to find it, I will use basic geometry and Pythagoras theorem. So what I do, I drop a perpendicular from the head of vector B. Okay. Now what I am doing is I am doing the component of vector B. So this part becomes B sine theta, and this particular part becomes B cos theta. This is angle alpha, the angle made by resultant vector with a vector. This is our angle alpha. Now we redraw this particular triangle. Okay. So this is our B sine theta, this is A, and this is B cos theta. This is 90 degree, this is alpha angle, and this is magnitude of vector R. We need to find the magnitude of vector R. So in this simple triangle, we can use Pythagoras theorem and can find the value of resultant vector, which is a hypotenuse. So total base from here to here, we can see becomes magnitude of A plus magnitude of B cos theta. Okay, we can write magnitude of B cos theta or just B, no issues. Okay, this is our perpendicular. So using Pythagoras theorem, what we get? Okay, just I write H square is equal to B square plus B square. Okay, so H becomes whole under root B square plus B square. Okay, so now we do the calculation. R magnitude is equal to, okay, so what is our base? Base is whole under root A plus B cos theta. This is our base. Okay. Now perpendicular is B sine theta. So it becomes B sine theta whole square. Okay. Now after this we solve the math. Okay. So this becomes, we open the square, A square plus B square cos square theta plus 2AB cos theta plus B square sin square theta. Okay, so what I do now becomes A square, B square is common in both of them, so it becomes cos square theta plus sin square theta plus 2AB cos theta. We know sin square theta plus cos square theta is 1. Therefore, the magnitude of resultant vector becomes A square plus B square plus 2AB cos theta. This is our final result, which is very important. Okay, so it was not so difficult, you got it. So one more thing, we first we just use some geometry. Okay, then we concluded that we need to solve it, then we solved it further. Okay, we solved the whole maths thing. Now one more thing what we need to know, that is the angle of resultant vector with a vector. It is alpha here. We need to find this particular angle alpha. Okay, So in this triangle, we see this is perpendicular, this is our base, and this is angle alpha. So if we get tan alpha, that's fine with us. Okay, so we find tan alpha. Tan alpha is equal to perpendicular by base. So it becomes tan alpha is equal to b sine theta divided by a plus b cos theta. We can write it as simple as that, or in a sophisticated manner, you can write as magnitude of b vector sine theta divided by magnitude of a plus magnitude of b cos theta. Okay, this is our vector addition. Do remember, when the question comes in your exam for vector addition law, then you have to draw both the diagrams, do this maths, and ultimately reach to this conclusion that resultant vector is equal to under root a square plus b square plus 2ab cos theta, and finally find the angle tan alpha. Okay, we can also write as alpha is equal to tan inverse bracket start b sine theta upon a plus b cos theta, but this will do. Okay, so take care. We will end the class now. Stay safe. Bye.